Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
This is Merchant Talk by Practical E-Commerce. I'm Kerry Murdoch. An e-commerce merchant in St. Louis launched his business in 2006 after having written the programming code for his own shopping cart. That business, called VAT19.com, sells offbeat gifts, and it has grown to over 300 SKUs and up to 2,000 shipments per day. How have they done it all? Jamie Salvatore, the founder and owner, is here to explain it to us. Well, Jamie, thank you for your time today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Jamie, tell us about your business, VAT19. When did you launch the business, and how did you get into e-commerce?
VAT19 is an online gift store where we specialize in what we deem are curiously awesome products, which is sort of unique gifts. And we got into this, I suppose, out of necessity. My background was in running a video production business, and that's a service-based business, and you essentially sell time, and that was something that there isn't enough of. So we decided to try to take our strengths in video production and see how we could make some money online. So we decided to start a website selling products online with a big focus on video, and we did this sort of starting right around 2006, middle of 2006, 2007, when YouTube, which we all feel like has been around forever, but it really wasn't. It was launched in 2005, when YouTube made it so accessible for there to be video online that we sort of really dove in.
So, roughly how many SKUs since 2006? How many SKUs do you stock in your store now?
We have a bit over 300, which doesn't probably sound like a lot to a lot of people, but our focus or whatever is in really trying to do an excellent job of promoting each item in terms of our photography and videography and explanation. So that takes a little bit of time. So we can usually only put up about 2 new products a week, about 100 a year, and we've been trying to add about 100 a year since we started. So it's not really about volume of product for us versus quality of presentation, and the sort of success that we've had so far seems to indicate that we're on the right track.
So it's a niche gift business with the tag of curiously awesome products, which is a great tagline there. Give us an idea, or our listeners an idea of what type of products that would involve. Just name two or three good sellers for you that you have there.
Sure. Well, one of our most popular items is our world's largest gummy bear. It's a 5-pound gummy bear, sort of freak of the candy world. That product has been incredibly popular. Although we have a wide range of of items. We've got toys for kids. We got like a ball that can bounce up to 75 feet in the air, and that product has always been popular. We've got a really popular tea mug that is constructed so that you can actually keep the tea bag like on the outside of the mug itself. You sort of have to see a picture. So it's a wide range of items. Usually under about $40 a piece, and somewhat unique, but usually hopefully provides some sort of function so that we can show that function with a video.
You had indicated to me earlier that the holiday season is a really busy time for your business, like many retail businesses. But on average, how many orders would you say you process a day?
When it gets really busy around the holidays, it could be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 orders a day.
That leads us into the next question, Jamie, about your business, and that is about the back end of your business. That's a lot of orders, 1,000 to 2,000 orders a day. How do you manage all this? Could you talk to us about your shopping cart, your order fulfillment process? Let's start with the cart first. What sort of shopping cart do you run on your site there, VAT19?
It's our own shopping cart that I happen to write myself. I have a background in computer science, so I've sort of written all of our shopping cart myself, which in hindsight probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, because sort of like, why reinvent the wheel? But it does give us some level of control over certain things that you might not find in something that's off the shelf, or at least when we started, you probably couldn't have gotten some of the customization that we can do. As far as the order fulfillment and processing, we actually do all of that here out of our warehouse, and again, it's a custom solution that we wrote ourselves here. For our accounting, we just use QuickBooks Pro, and we're able to just sort of download sort of a batch of orders. Everything that was shipped out that day, we just sort of batch into one invoice into QuickBooks each day. So it's pretty simple. Even with that volume of orders, it works pretty well.
Okay, and I noticed that you have an email newsletter. Do you use a third-party email vendor for that, or do you do that in-house too?
No, we definitely use a vendor for that. We originally tried to do it ourselves, and we made some mistakes when we first started with that. We originally did sort of an ultra sin in email marketing, which was we were automatically signing people into our newsletter once they placed a purchase, and this upset a lot of people, and it made it very difficult for our emails to get delivered. So about 2-3 years ago, we switched away, and we use Aweber right now to handle our newsletter, and that was a good decision because we were getting a decent number of complaints.
And you're pleased with Aweber?
Yeah, we haven't had any problems with them at all. Been quite pleased. I think the price is good, and the service is pretty good.
Jamie, it's not every day that we talk to a merchant who writes his own shopping cart. So I know you've got a strong background there. Did you start with a strong computer background? Did you start with any sort of open source software and modify it, or did you just start from scratch and wrote the code for that cart?
I just started from scratch and wrote the code. We were, like many small businesses, trying to, cut costs wherever we could, and programming was just something that I knew how to do. So I just said, this can't be that complicated. When we first started, we only had a couple items, and we kept things extremely simple. There was there weren't multiple shipping options. There was just, here's the price for shipping, and we kept everything simple. Then as the business grew, I sort of added more and more complexity to it, and as well with our order fulfillment. I mean, it used to be very simple, and there used to be a lot of human involvement to, we used to copy and paste addresses on the shipping labels. And, as we got more business, we automated more things. So it's not like I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to write a system that, will rival some of the best e-commerce carts out there. I just wrote what I needed for my business, and it just adapted since.
Let's shift gears, Jamie, to marketing for a sec.
Sure.
How do you get customers to your site? And I'm referring to SEO or pay-per-click or any other forms of marketing you do.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing in probably the world, is to get those eyeballs to your site. We try to do everything. Yes, we do pay-per-click with all the usual people, Google and Microsoft and Yahoo and all that. We do work on SEO. We don't obsess over it too much. You don't want to have manic swings of depression or elation because you moved up one position or moved down one. You just got to sort of work on that, but don't obsess over it too much. You'll go crazy. We also do a lot to try to get customers that we've currently got to come back. Repeat business is the most important thing for a small business, so we do everything we can to keep any customer that we do get happy and satisfied. And we also do TV advertising, and even small merchants, you can do TV advertising using none other than Google. Google TV ads is an incredible platform for small businesses to get TV commercials out there without having to go through an ad agency. You can even, I feel like I should get like a check from Google here, but it's an incredible system for being able to, get your ad made and get it put on the air. It's a smaller system. You're only on, I think it's like Dish Network, but it's still 13 million households, and you're able to put an ad up there for, you could run a TV spot for as low as maybe, $50. So I would encourage a lot of online retailers to look there, because most everyone obsesses over their Google AdWords and their pay-per-click, but, if you go on TV, you're going to be where your competitors probably aren't.
How can you track that, or do you attempt to track it?
I think Google has some ability. If you put in a 1-800 number on the TV spot, they can track that somehow. But what we do is at the end of our order process, we ask people how they found out about us. And before we put that in, I was concerned that people wouldn't want to answer the question, but it's one small question. We have like 5 options, and we found that about 85% of our customers answer that question. And so we can see, okay, X% of our sales are coming from people that have seen our ad on TV. It's not this, you're not going to get the same level of detail as your pay-per-click, but just like you would expect with Google, I mean, you can start and stop your ads whenever you want. You upload your ad right from your computer. It's a pretty cool system that really, because I used to do TV advertising a long time ago through ad agencies and the cable companies, and this is just blows that away.
Wow, interesting. Do you manage SEO and pay-per-click yourself there in-house, or do you outsource that management?
We do that here in-house.
Yeah, good. Looking back, Jamie, over your business since you've launched 4 years now, tell us about some decisions that you've made right, and then if you're like a lot of us, decisions that you wish you would have done differently.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot more of the things that I probably should have done differently. I feel like, and a lot of those things is, well, I should have started X, Y, or Z earlier. I feel like I should have started doing the type of TV advertising that we're doing now. I should have done that earlier. I feel like I shouldn't have been obsessing so much over search engine rankings and our pay-per-click as much as I used to. A lot of time and maybe sweating went on over that shouldn't have. I wish I would have started our Facebook fan page earlier. The number one thing I probably wish I would have done was putting all of my videos on YouTube earlier. We used to host the videos ourselves for about a year and a half or so, and boy, I wish I would have posted all that stuff on YouTube the day we started.
Looks to me like you've made far more correct decisions, Jamie, than otherwise.
Well, if you saw the list of our retired products on our site, you'd feel a bunch of items that I shouldn't have purchased.
Many of our listeners, or most of our listeners, are smaller e-commerce merchants, and their businesses are smaller than yours. Jamie, what advice would you offer them as they're perhaps just entering e-commerce, or they're trying to decide which direction to go with e-commerce? Do you have anything to say to them?
Well, I wouldn't give up. It's usually whenever you're doing something and it seems like it's the worst and it's all downhill, keep going. Usually things turn around all of a sudden pretty quickly. The other small piece of advice I would give is to not get too attached to any one thing. You can get obsessed over trying to get a particular, pay-per-click campaign to work. It's like, hey, if that's not working, just pause this thing and move on to something else. As other people have said, you got to pull the weeds and water the flowers. It's just, be quick to pull those weeds and just move away from something that isn't working and isn't making you money, and work on the things that are. So get rid of those distractions. If your company blog no one's reading and is sort of, just shut it down. You don't have to have a blog. You don't have, if you're an online site, you don't have to have one just because people say you should. If it's not giving you any benefit, shut the thing down and spend the time working on something else.
That's great advice.
Well, the other thing that I, remember being fairly obsessed about for a while was, the conversion rate on our website and trying to measure up to other websites. Well, should the conversion rate, be on my website? And I think that's something that people get obsessed about that you shouldn't. All that matters really is how many orders are you getting, and it's a relative thing. Make changes to your website, test them, and does your conversion rate go up or down? Amazon probably has a conversion rate of 10, 12, 14%. Don't make your website look like Amazon's because of that. Their conversion rate is huge because they sell everything on the face of the planet and everybody knows them. But your site, all that matters is, okay, well, the change you just made, over the last month or so, has that helped or hurt your conversion rate? But being obsessed over the actual number is kind of, who cares? Actually, the only number that matters, really, I guess, is how much money you've got in your bank account. You have enough to pay the bills.
Well, for purposes of our audience, we've been visiting with Jamie Salvatore. Jamie is the owner and founder of a very interesting e-commerce site called VAT19. That's V as in Victor, A as in Apple, T as in Tom, the number 1 and the number 9, VAT19.com. And Jamie Salvatore, we want to thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you so much, Kerry. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.